Then make sure that whatever you do to the left hand side, you do the same thing to your right hand side. Okay? Now, I'm going to put one more, whilst you do that, I'll just put one more challenging question. This is for the able student. Okay? Have a go at that. You've got about 2-3 minutes. One question, okay? And this question would be in green, and this is for the able student, more able student. All of you have a go at this one. Then those who are more able, or all of you, you have a go at the other question. So 6 minus 2y equals 20. Okay? If you're not able to do it, don't worry, because we will get a chance to do that. It's just some of you might be ahead of the others. Okay, good. Let's have a look at the answers there. So you've got x. This is a minus, so we're going to add 8. Yeah, it's a minus 8. We're going to add 8 equal. Let me just move it slightly to the other side so I get the equal sign. So add 8, that's equal, minus 20, add 8. Okay. Minus 8 plus 8, that's 0, so these two cancel each other. You need to be very good at your negative. If you're not quite sure, practice this. If you're not getting your answer, practice this before your next lesson. So minus 20 plus 8 would give you the answer of minus 12. So we've got x equals to minus 12. Okay. We have a look at the second one. That's k divided by 4 equals 24. So we do the inverse of divide by 4. We multiply it by 4. So we've got k, trying to squeeze that in there, times 4 equals to 24 times the 4. So that's cancelled. I've got k is equal to 96. Okay. The last one, minus 9x equals to minus 27. Now remember, I've said between the 9 and the x, it's a multiplication. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite of minus times by minus 9. Yeah, opposite of times by minus 9. So we're going to divide by minus 9. So on that side, I divide by minus 9. Okay, and on that side, I divide by minus 9. Now, minus 9 divided by minus 9. These two, they go. And I've got x equal. Now, remember, you need to be very good at your negative and positive. If you've got an issue, you need to be practicing those. So negative number divided by a negative number gives you a positive answer. So minus 27 divided by minus 9 would give you a plus 3. Okay, now let's just check. Very, very important. Let's just check that those are correct. Okay, we need to check. If I put minus 12 in there and I minus 8, I should get the answer of minus 20. Then I know that my answer as minus 12 is correct. Okay, we'll check the last one. If I put a 3 there, so if I've got minus 9 times 3, when you have a negative number, you multiply it by a positive number, you get a negative answer. So I've got minus 9 times the 3 lots of minus 9, that's minus 27. So therefore I know that my answers are correct. Very, very important to check your answers. Okay? Whilst you're practicing, check your answers. You're confident in the exam, you don't because you are now confident. Yeah? You may not have the time. Now, some of you may have been able to get this one. Okay? So we will go over the question at some point there. We will leave this there at some point. That this was for the able student. But for those who did not get it, what are these? That's one of a two-step equation. Yeah? Two-step. What must go? What must go? Two things must go. The 6 must go and the times minus 2 must go. The 6 must go and the times minus 2 must go. Okay, so let's just take an example. We're going to leave this one there and we'll come back to see whether the more able student did get that correct. So let's leave that and take a more simpler one for those who've been asking, oh, what's that question? Let's take a simpler one. So we've got 2x minus 7 and that's equal to 3. Okay? It's a similar question, two-step equation. And in this one question which we're going to look at, what must go? It's that minus 7 and the times 2. Now, because there are two things to go, what goes off first? What goes off first is the minus 7. Okay, I won't go into big mass and explain that, but what goes off first would be the minus 7. Okay, so we've got 2x minus 7, and we do the inverse of minus 7, which is a plus 7. We do the left-hand side, same thing as the right-hand side, so that's 3 plus 7. Okay, the minus 7 plus 7, so we've got 2x equals 10. So we've got rid of the first thing that must go, the minus 7. Now what else must go is the times 2, not 2, but the times 2. Remember, between the 2 and the x, it's a multiplication. It's 2 lots, 2 times. So to get rid of the times 2, we're going to divide by 2. And same thing, we divide by 2 on the right-hand side. So this goes, we've got x equals to 5. Okay, now I'm going to put one more before we come to this one, but this time you have a go at the first part of it. Okay, you have a go at that first part, and then we'll come to that question and see whether you'll be able to do that. Have a go at the first part. So you've got 40 plus 6 equals 22. Now, you have a go. First, you have to remember, you ask yourself, what is my goal? I want to get t on its own. T equals something. Okay? What must go? Two things must go. The plus 6 must go and the times 4 must go. Okay? Which goes first? Which goes first? It's the plus 6 must go first. Okay, off you've got 10 seconds, you have a go. You can only, don't have to do the whole thing if you're not quite sure. If you're able, you can go through everything, but if you're not, just do that first bit. What must go first? Do that bit and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so we're going to have a go at this one question before we go back to this one. Now, remember there are two things that need to go here. You've got the plus 6 need to go and the times 4 need to go. Okay, so if this is to go first, do the opposite. Have a go at that. 5 seconds you've got. Okay, have a go at this bit. We need to do the opposite. Well done. If you've got it, you've got 40 plus 6 minus the 6 equals 22. Whatever you do to this side, this is what you've done. You've minus the 6. Do the same thing on this side. You minus 6. Okay? Now this goes, so I've got 4t equals, and that should give you the answer of 16. Okay? Now the next bit, that's 4 times the t. The opposite of times the 4 would be divide the 4. Whatever you do to this side must be done to this side. So you've got 16 divide the 4. Okay? So this cancel. You've got t equals to 4. Let's check if this works. Let's check. So we've got 4 times t. T is 4, so I've got 4 times 4, and that is 16. 16 I add to 6, and that gives me 22. So therefore I know 4 is correct. Okay? Now let's have a look at whether those who started with this one did it well. And if you didn't attempt it, let's have a go at it. There are 2 things that must go. What are they? They must, that's the plus 6 and the minus times 2. Yeah? That's minus, you're multiplying by a minus 2. So that's the 2 things to go. Okay? So have a go at it. The first thing to go, the 6 is a plus 6. Have a go at that. Do away with your plus 6. Okay? Well done. Excellent. So I've got 6, which I'm going to minus 6. Okay? And then I've got equals to, remember what I've done here? I've taken away 6. So I'm going to do the same thing on that side. Okay? So this goes, what am I left with? I've got minus 2 times the y. Between the minus 2 and the y, it's multiplying. And that equals to 14. It's a multiplication. The opposite of multiplied is to divide. So I'm going to divide not by 2 because this is a minus 2 times y. So I'm going to divide by minus 2 on both sides. Okay? So this goes, I've got y equals, I've said earlier on, a positive number divided by a negative number gives me a negative answer. So I've got minus 7. Okay, now let's check that this works. I want a minus 7 to work. So I've got 6 minus 2. That's what I have. I've got 6 minus 2 times 7. Remember which part to be done first? It's that multiplication. This must be done first. A negative 2 times a negative 7 will give me a positive answer. So I've got 6 plus 14. 6 plus 14 equals 20. Okay? Excellent. We're going to do one more, well, 2 more, and then you have a go at a couple of questions. Just 2 more. I want you to note this one down, and you have a go at it. Slowly we have a go at it. I've got x over 4 minus 2 equals 3. Okay? Now, the goal is to have x equals to something. Okay? What must go? 2 things. The minus 2 must go, and the divide 4 must go. The minus 2 and the divide 4. Which goes first? The minus 2 goes first. So I've got x over 4 minus 2. The inverse of minus 2 would be the plus 2. Whatever I do to the left-hand side must be done to the right-hand side. So I've got 3 plus 2. Okay? So this 2 goes. Now what have I got? I've got x over 4 equals to 5. Now I've got divide by